Welcome to episode 20 of The Player and the Journalist with Carson Harris and David Vick. In this episode, we are joined by one of the fiercest defenders in America. She spent 4 years at Temple before finishing up her career on the heights at Boston College. She is now a professional with Athletes Unlimited. Courtney Taylor, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Happy to be here.
Oh, I am super thrilled because I don't think we've had a defender on since Jillian Riley was the co-host. So this is super exciting to have a defender on. I'm sure you know this because Karson wasn't much of a defender, so it's good to have someone on here.
That's well
Definitely.
I just like to give Karson a hard time. No worries. Karson, I believe that you and Courtney Taylor were trying out for Team USA together a few years ago.
We did. That was our we were the no-name school buddies is what we were in US tryouts because she was still going to Temple and I was going to Drexel, so we didn't have a lot of other teammate friends there. So when everyone was hanging out with their teammates, we buddied up during that. So that was fun.
Yeah, definitely. We both went to school in Philly, so I knew someone who went to Drexel, so I reached out because I was like, I don't know anyone who's gonna be there. She's like, Carson's great, so I reached out to her, and then it was awesome.
Very cool. So did y'all ever play each other, Temple and Drexel? I'm assuming the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple times.
I think we might have played. We played in 2022. Oh, you weren't there. So I feel like we definitely played each other, but it was before we knew each other as people.
Yeah, we played because I know Courtney Dietzel, and I remember playing her because we went to high school together. So yeah.
We definitely played football also every year. I just can't remember. I'm sure there was a regular season game in there too.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I'm sure you could spot Karson a mile away, just the white and the blondness, and then she could probably spot you from a mile away because you're just so dang good. So
good to watch out for.
Awesome. So I believe Karson has. Do you have the first question, Karson, or is that me?
Yeah. No, it's me. I'll take it away.
Okay, so I printed the questions and I can't even tell the difference in the ink color because I'm not smart.
Yeah, I was first. We talked a little bit about you getting your MBA and just what you're doing now. So I wanted to give you a chance to kind of talk about what you're doing now, what you're up to, and then I have a couple of follow-up questions for it. So if you want to just tell fans what life looks like now for you, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I took my 5th year at Boston College, and when I was deciding where to take my 5th year, I actually narrowed it down to top lacrosse schools, but also top schools where I could get my MBA, and Boston College was one of them. So I played last year, but it's a 2-year program, so I kind of knew I was going to be stuck here for the year after I was done playing, which was I was just ready to wing it and not really have a plan for this second year. And just through getting to know the coaches so well and the administration so well at BC, I was lucky enough to get an internship in the athletic department this year, and just stick around and help out as much as possible while I finish school. And then in the fall, I was talking to the coaches and just trying to figure out ways I can be involved in the team still, just to help out in any way possible. So turns out that I was able to just kind of volunteer assistant a little bit, and just help out. So I'm traveling with the team, finishing up school. I'll be done in May, which I'm very excited about. It'll be 6 straight years of college, which is a lot. But it's so fun still being a part of the team. It's definitely a different aspect, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was gonna also ask you because I feel like people have different experiences between some people go to college and it's just lacrosse, and other people kind of try to like merge those two. So I was just wondering like how you felt like sports has helped you in your academic career also. Like you said, it was really important to go to both. So do you feel like being like this great lacrosse player has helped you academically also?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I didn't play a sport personally, I feel like I would have really struggled managing my time with school. Just having that schedule and discipline is have been so important in school, and a lot of people are like, oh my god, how are you doing your MBA? That's like a lot. It's really kind of, it's a big thing to do while playing, but I kind of felt like that's what I'm used to. I'm used to being busy all the time. I'm used to having a schedule. I'm used to having to get things done, having to work hard, and if it weren't for lacrosse, I don't think that any of that would be true.
Yeah. Oh God, I know. I remember those like off season weeks after you'd be done, and I would just I'd all of a sudden lose all my time. And they'd be like, why can't I get this stuff done? I have so many hours left in my day. And it's just because I lost all time management skills when I stopped playing lacrosse. Like I just lost my ability to do any schoolwork.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed that in the fall when I wasn't really helping out with the team, but this spring I feel like I've gotten since going to practice every day, it's like the same type of schedule. I've gotten so on track with being like, okay, I got home from work, I go to school, and the next day I do my homework, and then I'm done by this day of the week, and then I have like 2 days free. It's kind of like a routine now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So Karson is in PT school. You're, like you said, 6 years of school at the end of this year. College, that is. So you two are both very smart. I don't know so I have a random question for you. We'll see if either of you know it. Do you know what the percentage of our brains that we use is?
Oh God, people say it's like 10%, don't they? I don't believe it, but I'm pretty sure people say it's like 10%, and then it's whatever you like. You could unlock more. They just like advertise ways to unlock more part of your brain so you can become a superhuman or whatever. But
I have no idea, honestly. Science isn't my strong suit. Numbers, business.
I've learned a lot about the brain. There's absolutely no way that only 10% of it's being used. I don't believe it.
Karson, I would like to believe you, but you have like thousands of years of science going against you right now. So
I know. I have one neuroanatomy class that's going for me. That's what I got.
Awesome. So I'm curious, you said that you're traveling around with the team, which is awesome. You get to travel for free. Sign us up, please. Okay. So I'm curious, how is this year different, being that you aren't a player and you're just kind of do you get to sleep in when you travel? How does it work?
It's different. It's a lot more on I feel like the hardest part is like not playing, and I feel like the mental piece and the preparation I'm still helping as much as I would try to, if not more now. So I'm doing a lot of like the scout stuff, but the whole traveling piece, it's like we have team breakfast at whatever time. I'm up at now 7 a.m., 6:30, so I can work out before practice. So no, I'm not sleeping in at all because once the day gets started, it's pretty busy. And I haven't been playing, obviously. So it's different. It's just like more, I feel like, behind the scenes work rather than just showing up to practice and watching film with what's shared with me and stuff like that.
Okay, very cool. Also, I just have to say your sweatshirt is sick. I would love to get my hands on one of those. Okay, that is awesome.
This one?
Yes, that is sick.
Thank you. I work in the equipment room too, so get all the good gear.
Go missing then. Okay.
Yeah.
So before I get to my question, okay, so a little bit of background on me. Boston College got me into the sport. Watching the legend Sam Apuzzo play. Arsenal, Kent, Lauren Daly. Let's see, so many players, so many great players. So I'm curious, now that Charlotte North is gone, we have Belle Smith. Okay, I say we as a sport, not me personally, but we have Belle Smith in the sport, right? And she is absolutely insane. Karson and I absolutely love her. So what is it like coaching and being around Belle Smith in practice every day?
Is probably one of the hardest working girls on the team. She's always doing stuff to get better, and she's just a true leader on the field. She's pushing other people to be better. So it's not only she's performing, but she's helping other people perform, which is making the team grow and get better as well. So she's great. She's fun to watch. She's always looking to get better. So it's a really great person to have on the team.
For sure. And if you can hook me up with her autograph, that would be sick. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
I'll take your autograph.
Okay, now
Give me your autograph.
okay. Now to my actual question. Sorry, this might take a while because as Karson, I kind of get to talking and then it's hard to stop. Okay, Karson. Okay,
Maybe I'll
okay.
sign that, that's all.
Okay. So are you interested in coaching as far as like after you graduate, or what's kind of your future looking like with that?
So I didn't really. So as Karson knew, I was kind of like done with lacrosse after my 4 years, and I was not really. I hit my breaking point and was like, this is kind of it for me. I don't really have an interest in it. I was ready to like step away and take a little bit of time to myself, and then just after going to the U.S. tryouts, I was like, this is so awesome playing with so many great players. So that's basically what made me take my 5th year. And this whole year, the whole last year, I wasn't really thinking about what I wanted to do because I knew I still had another year of school, whether that be coaching or not. So this year and just this spring has kind of put into perspective like what coaches do for players. And it's actually crazy. And I don't think people are grateful enough for how much they do for them. It's like, it's really crazy. But I don't know if I see myself coaching college, maybe one day in the future, but I definitely see myself coaching club teams, high school, just youth. For now, I'm actually accepted a job working for Suffolk Construction, which is a big Boston company. So as of now, I won't be coaching, but I definitely would never rule that out just because like this spring, I've loved it so much so far.
Very, very cool. Hey, you and Karson should start your own club team. And then maybe I will start my own club team and we'll have to see which one is better. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be great if I am not moving to Boston. My line. I don't go any farther north than
Yeah.
ever again.
Definitely cold.
It could be from afar because I'm not going up there.
Yeah. Luckily we play inside because otherwise I would have not been able to play outside.
Oh yeah. No.
Y'all are supposed to be Philly tough now. You can't be acting like this on the podcast. People are gonna listen to this.
I can't do the cold. I've never said I could do the cold.
So Courtney, did you see Karson's Instagram post from earlier today? She was on spring break last week, her very first one, and she can't do the cold, but she's over there holding a big old snake. What is she thinking?
I did not see that. Where were you?
We went to New Orleans for the week.
Oh, that's so fun.
And listen, I'd rather do that than the cold.
Yeah.
The snake was cool. The cold is just annoying. I just don't like it.
I don't think you'd ever catch me holding a snake.
Thank you.
No matter the temperature.
New Orleans thing. I felt like we had to. It was like part of the culture, you know?
You gave in to peer pressure, okay?
No, I was the one that sought out the snake. It was not a peer pressure moment, don't get me wrong. It was definitely a culture moment.
Okay, awesome. One more follow-up, Courtney. So you played for Bonnie Rosen at Temple. She's been coaching for the longest time, has a lot of respect amongst coaches. And you played at Boston College, who has Acacia Walker-Weinstein, a.k.a. the present GOAT, okay? Obviously, Sam Apuzzo, so there you have Kent running the defense. So what did you learn from the different coaches that you played for while in college?
Yeah, I would say that they were two definitely different types of coaches. I think Acacia and Jen and Sam are just types of people that expect better, and if you don't show that at practice, then you're not going to be good enough to play at Boston College. And I think that it's like an expectation that's known at BC is just you have to be competitive and you have to want to win and you have to want to be better yourself. And that's what made me really love playing for them was if you don't do it, that's on you. Your teammates are pushing you and they're just giving you the resources to be better and helping you learn. And it's just then it comes from you after that. It's like effort, discipline, willingness to just do better. I would say at Temple, which is now like 2 years ago, which is crazy. I would say, I mean, definitely still competitive, and Bonnie obviously pushed everyone to be their best, but I just think that it was just a different level that I was not used to, and just being at that level at Temple was so awesome while I was there, but just being able to play at the next level at Boston College, it was just like truly made me actually love the sport again. So
very cool.
I was gonna go off of that actually. My next question for you kind of goes off of that. Is that I'm dying to know about the difference in like the speed of play from your like how your transition was from Temple to Boston College, and if you felt like there was a change in like pace or speed of play.
Yeah, I would say transition wise, there definitely we're so much faster at BC. Just stick skill wise, you just have to be better. You have to move the ball, but also 1v1s. I remember the first week at BC, I was like, I can't play defense here. Like, I can't stop any of these girls. This is like really, this is hard. And I was so nervous because I was like, these girls are so much better than me. And, but it's just like once you play with that speed, you are at that speed. But if you don't get exposure to it, then it's hard to get to that level.
Yeah. That's what I feel like when we were at US tryouts, those girls were just flying around. Then I'd be going for a ground ball like at, my speed, and then there's 17 girls that pick it up before me. And she'd be like, okay, bye guys. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that? Was it that same like pace?
Yeah. It's very similar to that. It's like I was saying earlier, you are expected to be 100%, and it's like in every single thing you're 100%, and that's like ground balls and line runouts, transition. It's like everything, and that's kind of like that's what kind of like I noticed at US. It's like it brought everyone to the next level. It's like those little things. It's not like how well you can shoot or how well you can catch and throw, but it definitely takes a lot of practice to like get to play at that level.
Yeah, we're just doing things fast all the time. That's a hard it's a hard thing ingrained in your mind, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump in real quick and say I no longer want to play Karson and Courtney's club team because I feel like my team would get absolutely mollywopped. So that's that.
Listen, I'm not sure I'll ever own one. I'll definitely coach, but owning one is a whole new beast.
Yeah.
Let's see. So it looks like my next question I already asked because, the words just came out. Let's see. Who at Boston College? Actually, no, let's take that back. Why Boston College over other? So you kind of already talked about this, but I guess it was Boston College, and who else were you considering as far as schools go, if you are willing to share?
Yeah, so it was Boston College, Northwestern, and Duke were my three choices. So just on academics and lacrosse is kind of like I narrowed it down to a small limited number of schools because like I said, I kind of was like over lacrosse, and I was like the only way I'll play is if I get my MBA and if I'm playing at a very good school. So basically what happened, Duke, I never went down to visit Duke. It wasn't working out with school, and I couldn't get my MBA because the business school was closed already. Because I did this whole process like probably in late June. So I really was like not prepared or didn't really think ahead for anything. So I kind of just like ruled it out based on that. That was like very kind of like a simple decision for me. Just that's what I said before I even made a decision. So then it came down to Northwestern and BC, which obviously Acacia coached with Kelly for a very, very long time. And they're both great coaches, great programs. And both of them, I mean, Northwestern's facilities are amazing. BC's school is so pretty. They both had kind of like everything I wanted. It was just when I met Acacia, I kind of just felt like this is what I want for my fifth year. I want someone who's so passionate and just wants to win. And not that Northwestern wasn't like that. It was just I just felt like that was my decision, and I kind of like had a gut feeling from the beginning that it was. And yeah, it's pretty much how I made the decision. Closer to home in Boston, when I'm in Boston too. I wanted my parents to be able to come, especially being from the Philly area. My parents came to every game at Temple, so having them being able to come to like Boston, where I suppose they would have to fly every weekend to Chicago. So yeah.
Very cool. That is fascinating to hear. So especially nowadays, there's so many transfers going on, and I would always love to know, like, who did they choose this school over, or why did they choose this school instead of that one? So that is fascinating. And hey, you can't go wrong with either. Obviously, both two of the best lacrosse schools and two great schools in general. So that's very, very fascinating.
That's so funny. I didn't remember that happened all so late. And now you're saying, I'm like, I remember that stress. Like, I remember you being so stressed out about where you're being so late in that process.
Yeah. I was like, well, what school can I get into? Like, can I get into school yet still? Because it was so late. And then I remember playing, of course, the first game of the season last year was BC Northwestern. And so it was like my first game at that level. And of course, it was like between my two choices. And I was so nervous because I was like, if we lose, I made the wrong decision, whatever.
Oh, no.
Ended up like destroying them, which made me very happy. But I still think about it. I'm like, even if we had lost, I still would have known that I made the right decision, just because I felt like I just loved BC.
So speaking of BC, what are your goals for them for this year, and what do you feel like your strengths are of the team?
Belle Smith, I'll just answer that. Okay, I'm joking.
I would say the first goal is just like game by game, taking it and trying to grow as a team.
Be a coach. That was a perfect coach answer.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just like, you've seen so many upsets happening right now. It's like you can look big picture based on like wanting to win, but you can't really look big picture when you're thinking about your season right now, because like you see these games and you're like, it doesn't matter, right? If you want to win the ACC championship and the national championship, it doesn't matter if you don't win now. So just like winning game by game. I think our strengths are our defense is like everyone returned besides me. I think I was the only because Charlotte, Caitlin, and I were the only three to graduate last year. Everyone else came back, took their fifth year. So our defense is pretty much the same, and I think our offense is just really working hard, and like transition is just, I would say like there's strengths on all parts of the field. It's just now playing together as a team is like continuing to play together is the most important thing.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just curious because I feel like when you watch teams like Boston College, UNC, you look at them and you're like, that is just a well-oiled machine right there. Like, I don't know. So I was just curious if you had specific strengths or anything like that for them. But
yeah, can't really think of like. I mean, I feel like it's all kind of like one picture.
Yeah. Oh, hey, your answer is their well-oiled machine. I get it. That makes sense.
I respect you, Karson, for pushing for more. I respect it. Okay. So you mentioned the graduates. Call me an idiot, but I had no clue that Caitlin Mossman was graduating last season. So when the season started, I'm like, where is Caitlin Mossman at? Because she was a beast. I loved watching her play, and she was gone. And I was like, tear, So anyways, also, as far as defenders go, I have to say I love watching Hunter Roman. Not that I don't like watching the other defenders, but Hunter Roman, she's gonna get in your grill, okay? I love watching her play. Okay? She's great. So so obviously we see who's on the field, but as far as maybe a freshman goes, who's a freshman at BC that you've been really impressed with watching them from the sidelines? Other than Dulce.
Oh. But other Shay Baker is a freshman, and she's like working hard every single day. She is there to learn. She's always trying to get better, and she's honestly been a huge part of our scout team, both offensively and defensively, which has been huge in preparing our team for the games. I would just say her work ethic is, and she's like constantly studying. She constantly knows what's happening, and definitely is really good to watch.
Very cool.
I always feel like the scout players sometimes are your like the biggest students of the game because they have to spend so much time learning like what their role is that they're supposed to be playing. They end up figuring out like they could probably tell you exactly what's supposed to happen better than even your own team sometimes because they're so good at like adapting that role. And we used to have people, it made them so much more diverse as a player. And then they got so good at these things that they were supposed to adapt, and all of a sudden they could like rip a shot when they could never do it before just because they were a scout player. I always feel like that helps your game so much when you start that.
Yeah, I mean, even just watching film and seeing what other players do is like so helpful.
Yeah, it just makes you so adaptable, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I know you haven't played Syracuse yet, but I'm curious. Do you know who is going to be playing Megan Tyrell on the scout team?
No, not yet. I honestly haven't even thought past Denver tomorrow. So
Listen, if Coach Walker Weinstein listens to this, she's going to be so proud of you. She's going to be like, that's my Courtney Taylor right there. Okay. Okay, let's see. My question again. So I have to ask about the UNC game that caught a lot of people off guard. It was an interesting game. Let's just call it that. So I'm curious from your point of view, what went wrong for Boston College in that game?
I would just say it wasn't our skill. It wasn't our preparation. It was just kind of like showing up on game day and being mentally prepared for a hard game because, I mean, after we lost to them in the national championship, it was almost like a rematch. And I would just say we were just, I felt like playing a little bit on our toes and reacting to them rather than making them like react to us. I think honestly though, it was a good point for it to happen. There's still so much room to get better. And I think just knowing that kind of like put it into perspective of like what we need to do moving forward and how like to mentally prepare for a game that is going to be hard and that they're going to give you their best game and that you have to be ready to punch back and be ready to give your best game back. And I just think that we weren't really ready for that. And it's not something that I think will ever happen again because it happened once and people saw how it turned out and it was obviously caught a lot of people by surprise. But I think just like the way we're reacting right now is good moving forward.
That's for sure. And that's a very interesting answer because I remember I can't remember if BC called timeout or if it was a TV timeout. Before they went to commercial break, though, at one point in the game, they had the camera on the BC huddle and you could read Coach Walker Weinstein's lips and she said, "Wake up" to the team. And so that goes like hand in hand with what you're saying. So that's very fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, they knew it too after the game. It was just a matter of in the game couldn't wake up.
Well, hey, if you're gonna lose North Carolina, it's better to do it in the regular season than in the postseason. So there are positives.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like that vlog where everything is just going wrong and you just can't quite figure out how to get out of it. It's like that's what it almost looked like too. It was like you guys just like seemed stuck, and it's like one thing had gone right in the first quarter, it would have all been okay. But it was like
it just started not going right, and yeah. I mean, I also think going down there is never easy. It's like it's a different field. There's like a lot of UNC fans that come out, and Karson being one of them. So
boo!
Yeah. So
listen, I didn't even wear UNC to that game. Actually, I didn't even wear UNC. I'll be an observer of this.
Good.
Two observations from that game that I would just like to get your opinion on. So Holly Schleicher, huge fan of her, great defender, and I was super impressed because obviously Rachel Hall had a really tough first half. But after one of the goals, you could see Schleicher went up to her and just like was talking to her, patting her on the back. Can you talk about Holly Schleicher's leadership for Boston College?
Yeah, I mean she's a great leader. She is always trying to help other people. I mean, her and Belle are cousins, kind of makes sense the way that they lead on the field. Yeah, she's huge on the draw circle. She's very good at like fixing things when things go wrong and looking to change things. And I think she's been a good leader.
Awesome. And then secondly, her cousin, you just mentioned her, Belle Smith. I was super impressed with her at the start of the third quarter. Not because Karson and I love her, obviously, but so obviously the first half was tough, and then at the beginning of the third quarter, she was just getting the ball and going to cage. Whereas in the first half, she really wasn't a big factor in the game. What does that tell you anything about her mindset, that she's like willing to just make it happen by herself?
Yeah, I mean, we were just looking for a spark, and I think she kind of took that upon herself to try and do anything that we could to get a spark, and it says a lot about who she is. She wants to win, and she's willing to do whatever it takes. So she needs to go to goal, she'll go to goal. And I think just realizing that earlier would have been big help in the game, but it was good.
For sure. Hey, shades of Sam Mapuzo, who, by the way, should have her number retired, in my opinion. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there, okay?
Yeah.
So we'll transition to Athletes Unlimited. Are you doing that again this summer?
I am, yeah.
You are.
Okay.
Yeah. Who was the toughest player to guard last season and why? Because I also, rumor has it, you're the only person that could get checks off of on Charlotte North last. In practice, you were the only defender that could get checks off of. So I'm curious, who was your toughest player to guard last season and
Sam,
why?
no, by far. She's the hardest person to play, I think. I mean, I think Charlotte's obviously so hard to play, but just last year I was playing against her every day in practice. You just get to know her tendencies a little bit more. So I think that made it a little bit easier for me in AU. But Sam is so hard to guard, even when she would play like scout players sometimes in practice, and she's just so quick and so deceptive and has like really good stick skills. She's very hard to guard.
You just made David so happy.
Listen, she is the greatest player of all time. She is the official greatest player of all time. Sam Mapuzo, what a woman. Okay, I love watching her play. She's a beast. She plays so hard. She has so much emotion. It's amazing. I love watching her play.
Yeah, she does. She cares so much, and you can just tell like every time she scores how much she is like wanting to win. So
for sure. Oh, is my question? Okay, so I'm just we're talking BC, and I'm just like acting like a fool over here. Okay, let's see. So Athletes Unlimited has a little bit of a different format than college lacrosse. Mm-hmm. As Karson just said a lot. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on the format? What did you like? What did you not like?
It's funny because Sam and I were just talking about it yesterday, actually. It's definitely hard to get used to coming from college. I'm pretty sure the first like 2 or 3 weeks, I guess it was only 4 weeks, so the first 2 weeks for me, so the first 6 games, I just kind of was like sitting back playing defense as I would in college, and it's like you can't really succeed unless you are willing to like go out of your comfort zone and do things like the way that the way that AU is like promoting the game, I guess. I think that it's really cool that you get to just play. Like there's not a lot of stopping. It's like you just get to play. And I forget what Sam said yesterday, but she was like, I think it separates the people who are like really good from the people who can just play lacrosse, because like you have to be able to handle physicality. You have to be able to like do all of those things that in college lacrosse you couldn't do. So it really kind of like separates the players who are like good lacrosse players, who are like able to score even though you're getting checked and you're getting pushed. There's like no empty stick checks or anything like that. So yeah, I think it's fun. I like it. I didn't like it in the beginning, but I've grown to like it.
Very cool. So there's just one rule that I do not like, and I want your opinion on this. So they have instead of the restraining line, you have to stop at midfield now. What are your thoughts? I feel like What are your thoughts on that?
The field is shorter, so I think that it being at the 50 gives like offenses and defenses more room to work. Definitely transition was a little bit different because it was like to the 50, but I just think that the whole field is a lot bigger because you have up to the 50 and you have 6 players on the field, so it's like gives you more room to work. I didn't really think it affected that much, honestly. It's definitely different and not hard to get used to, but like there's no lines for the 30s, so you're not like misjudging a line or something. You just like see one line that's like where you're stopping.
Awesome. So let's see. Just one follow-up. Are there any changes you would like to see, and if not, what do you see as the future of women's lacrosse?
I don't think there should be like any changes necessarily. I definitely think that I just think that it sometimes promotes the wrong thing for young kids coming to watch because they're seeing it and they're like now going to go to practice and hit people's hands all day and whatever. And I think that that's just one thing that is kind of like a little bit, I don't even know what the word I would use to describe it, just like misunderstood because like it's just different. It's not the same game. But I think it's still fun. I don't really think there's anything I would change. I like being able to play physically and I like not having a lot of rules. The only thing that I think I would actually change would be yellow cards for offsides, which is kind of like seems a little bit counterintuitive. It's like there's no yellow card if you get checked like crazy, but there's a yellow card for going offsides.
Huh. I didn't know that. I have 2 things about that. The first one, and I just lost my first one. Oh yeah, the first one is going back to you saying that it makes the great players. I totally agree with that because I also think that it makes you do things for yourself. Like a lot of people can rely on other people to score goals. Like I used to have to wait till people cleared my lane and then I could go. But I had to have a lane clear. Like I think that, and people in AU, like you get 2 days of practice. Like you're not drawing up plays for each other really. Like you have to be able to create your own plays. Like you have to go get a cause turnover if you want those points. Like you have to go score a goal if you want. Which I think is a really unique position. So I just wanted to point that out because I think that's
definitely
unique about AU. And my second point was that I agree with you about the preaching to the younger kids, possibly with like the 2-point thing, like shooting it from outside the 8, like that's a huge which is a cool thing for AU, and it's great there. But I also think that you're right because I feel like 10-year-olds are starting to like rip shots. You're like, that's dangerous. You don't know how to do that yet. Like I think in general that I see what you're saying with that because I feel like with the aggressiveness and then also the crazy shots that people are taking in AU because they're the most talented players in the world.
Right.
The 10-year-old watching the game should go do the behind the back rip shot from the 12 meter. Like, I just feel like that's that's the
definitely.
Thing. But all right. So my last question for you, kind of a round one. We have a lot of people that listen to this that are middle school, high school, the younger age, starting to learn lacrosse. What is one piece of advice that you would give to our listeners that are still learning the game? You've seen it all now. You've been a coach, you've been a player. What do you got for it?
I would just say believe in yourself. Don't ever give up because I think as someone who lacrosse was kind of like not my main sport, but it's just like work hard and if you like actually put in the time and you want to get better and you want to be a good lacrosse player, you have to just believe in yourself and keep playing hard. Go hit the wall every day. Just do things to get better and shows with the people at AU, people in college that some people don't start till high school, but it's just they believed in themselves that they could do it, and now they're some of the best players in college.
Well, that was beautiful and perfect. Exactly. Everyone go out there and believe in yourselves. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very cool. So BC has a big game coming up tomorrow against Denver, correct?
Correct.
Any thoughts? Any initial thoughts on that game? Now that you've been watching Denver, preparing for them, should it be a good game? Should fans expect a good one?
Oh yeah, I mean Denver's a great team. They're physical, good team. I mean, as everyone knows, their defense is it's really hard to break down. So it's going to be a great game. I mean, we just got to show up, do what we've been doing in preparation, and so it's a good test for us right now. And I think that it's a key game right now for BC.
But obviously, cool. Boston College is going to win.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Also, last thing from me, I promise. Many moons ago, we had Rachel Hall on the show, and I mentioned to her, I was like, when is Boston College going to get some all-black uniforms? I feel like it would look so good.
So we do have them, but we at BC, you're not allowed to wear black on black. So you would have to wear black top with different color skirt.
That's weird.
So yeah, we have them, but we're not allowed to wear black on black. So I don't know.
The women's lacrosse team is the best team on the campus. They should be able to do whatever the hell they want to do. Okay.
I know. You would think. I think it's Father Leahy, who's like the president of the school. I think it's his. I don't know if it's a Jesuit thing or it's his school thing. I don't really know, honestly, but I just know that we're not allowed.
Oh, there you go. That answers that.
That's fascinating. Okay, that was crazy.
Yeah, we do have them. I see them all the time in the equipment room.
When will they be worn anytime soon? At least like one or the other?
No, you can't do that. What are you gonna do? A maroon skirt with a black top?
Listen, I just want to see some black out there. Okay.
That would be so ugly. They can't.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is. We kind of leave it up to the coaches and players in the equipment. So.
Oh man. Well, hey, we're gonna have to get a Coach Keisha Walker Weinstein on here at some point, and we're gonna have to talk to her about these black uniforms. Okay.
We get the president of Boston College on here next. That's what
yeah.
You said his name was Father Leahy. I'm gonna give him a call right after this ends. Okay.
She's like, oh God, that was so good until just now.
Awesome. Well, Karson, do you have anything else?
No, I don't. It was nice talking to you. Thank you for being on. We really appreciate it. And it was great to hear your perspective on things.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
For sure. And best of luck the rest of the season. Best of luck at the construction company, where you will be the best worker they have. We already know that. It's guaranteed facts. If you don't get a pay raise within the first few months, you come to me and Karson. We'll go talk to them for you. Okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Best of luck tomorrow and enjoy the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.